Less than 2 weeks after Prince Philip's Thanksgiving was held at Westminster Abbey on March the 29th, the Queen marked the 1-year anniversary of her husband's death with an emotional tribute. The royal family's official Twitter account released a video comprised of a photo montage of the prince over his long life, including with photos of him as a baby, as a dashing naval officer with his 4 children, grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Perhaps most touching was an old photo of Philip leaning over his wife's shoulder with their faces close together. It ended with a recent black and white photo of the Duke tipping his hat as if to say goodbye. Accompanying it was the reading of the poem, The Patriarchs, an Elegy, by Poet Laureate Simon Armitage. Remembering His Royal Highness the Duke of Edinburgh on his first anniversary of his death, read the caption. It also included a link to find out more about the Prince's life and legacy. In the video, the poem is read by Armitage over piano music and a poignant footage. First published on the day of Philip's funeral last year, the poem pays tribute to his distinguished career in the Royal Navy. The poem reads,
The Patriarchs, an Elegy. The weather in the window this morning is snow, unseasonal singular flakes, a slow winter's final shiver. On such an occasion, to presume to eulogize one man is to pipe up for a whole generation, that crew whose survival was always the stuff of minor miracle, who came ashore in orange crate coracles, fought ingenious wars, finagled triumphs at sea with flaming decoy boats and sidestepped torpedoes. Husbands to duty, they unrolled their plans across billiard tables and vehicle bonnets, regrouped at breakfast. What their secrets were was everyone's guess and nobody's business. Great-grandfathers from birth, in time they became both inner core and outer case in a family heirloom of nesting dolls. Like evidence of early man, their boot prints stand in the hardened earth of rosebeds and borders. They were sons of a zodiac out of sync with the solar year, but turned their minds to the day's big science and heavy questions. To study their hands at rest was to picture maps showing hatchet valleys and indigo streams, schemes of old campaigns and reconnaissance missions. Last of the great avuncular magicians, they kept their best tricks for the grand finale, disproving immortality and disappearing entirely. Major oaks in the wood start tuning up, and skies to come will deliver their tributes. But for now, a cold April's closing moments parachute slowly home, so by mid-afternoon, snow is recast as seed heads and thistledown.
On April the 9th, 2021, just after noon, Buckingham Palace announced Philip's death, expressing the royal family's grief with people worldwide. He passed away just a few months short of his 100th birthday. The Duke was central to the monarch's life and was well known for his frankness and outspokenness. Philip became an international figure after marrying the Queen more than 70 years ago, and world leaders, other royal families and charities paid tribute to him. At the recent service of Thanksgiving for Philip's life, Dean of Windsor, the Right Reverend David Connor, paid tribute to his abilities and also highlighted his shortcomings, just as the Duke would have wanted. He described Philip as a man of passionate commitment who devoted his intellectual and physical energy to a host of down-to-earth enterprises. But he could also be abrupt in a robust conversation, forgetting just how intimidating he could be. The Queen is believed to be at Windsor Castle, and it is understood she will mark the first anniversary of the death of her husband privately. On her Christmas Day broadcast last year, she reflected on a year of personal grief, saying there was one familiar laugh missing, as she acknowledged the death of her husband. She gave a personal tribute to her beloved Philip and remarked how his mischievous, inquiring twinkle was as bright at the end as when I first set eyes on him. At the Duke's funeral, attended by just 30 mourners due to the COVID regulations, the Queen was pictured sitting alone wearing a face mask. The royal family marked what would have been the Duke's 100th birthday, June the 10th, 2021, with pictures of Philip posted on social media in tribute. Princess Eugenie wrote on Instagram, "Thinking of Grandpapa on what would have been his 100th birthday." The princess shared an image of her grandparents Philip and the Queen together at her 2018 wedding outside St George's Chapel, Windsor Castle. Philip's youngest son, Prince Edward, however, told CNN that his father was incredibly self-effacing and probably would not have wanted the hassle of celebrating turning 100. Edward said, "I don't think he ever really necessarily wanted to reach his centenary, because I just think he thought there would be too much fuss, and that wasn't him. That was just not him at all." The Queen poignantly marked the occasion by watching the planting of a newly bred rose, named after her late husband, a gift from the Royal Horticultural Society, which was placed in the Windsor Castle gardens.